Leonardo da Vinci once said that time waits just long enough for those who use it. So the question is, what are you doing with your time? We all have 24 hours in a day. What are you doing with your time? Are you building your dream? Or are you helping someone else build theirs? Are you putting in the work every single day, every single moment of now? Are you planning for your future? They say planning is bringing the future into the present so you can do something about it now. So the question is this: what are you doing with your time? Remember, the time is always now.
And thank you for joining me for the Time Is Always Now podcast. This is a podcast that's dedicated to helping people get past their excuses. Helping people say, I'm not going to do it someday or one day. I'm going to do it right now because this is the only time we have. My name is Terence Young. I'm your host for the podcast. I appreciate you joining me. And what I do is I'm a mindset coach. I'm a new thought transformational speaker. I'm an author. I'm a runner. And I help people get past their paradigms and get past thinking they're going to wait for the right time to do something and instead figure out that the only time we have is right now. When we realize that, I help people harness the power in the eternal moment of now. That's how you change your life, right here in this present moment. So thank you for joining me for the podcast. If you wish to donate to the podcast, you can do so by going to my website, which is TerenceYoungNow.com. I appreciate you, so thank you in advance for allowing me to continue to do what I do, which is give these messages of hope, of inspiration, of encouragement to all people. I believe that we can elevate the consciousness of the world if we continue to learn how to harness the power in the eternal moment of now. So thank you for joining me for that. This week for the podcast, in the Time Is Always Now Facebook group, which if you have not joined us over there, you got to join us over there. It's a great group where we inspire, we encourage, we motivate each other to change our lives for the better right now. So join us over there. In there, the group, this week's theme was silence, the power of silence. It's so important. It's so important. So in today's episode of the podcast, I'm going to share with you just the power of silence in your life. And I used a quote that I posted during the week, and it's once you've matured, you realize silence is way more powerful than trying to make a point. Once you've matured, you realize that silence is way more powerful than trying to prove a point. I'll share with you a short story. I used to play basketball for years in my life. I played high school, college, Division I college basketball, all that. And then after my official playing days, I still was young and playing at the park with other college players and all that. And so I did that for 3 or 4 years after my playing days. And one day we're at the park, a bunch of college guys, all of us up there, semi-pro players. And one guy was guarding me one day, and he was just talking, and I've never been a talker. I've always stayed silent. I've always let my game do the talking. And for this game, he was really guarding me like basically like a boxing one. Like he wouldn't let me get the ball at all, so I couldn't do anything. And at the park, the games are different. A basket is 1 point. If you shoot a 3-pointer, it's worth 2 points, and the game goes to 11. So we're going this whole game. He's like almost denying me the ball, and he's talking and talking and talking. I'm staying silent. I'm not doing anything. I'm like, hey, if I get the ball, I'll do what I do. And I was a pretty good player myself. I can score, I can shoot. And if I don't, it's okay, right? But I'm not saying anything to him. And we got to a point in the game where he's telling me, he's like, you're not going to score any points in this game. I'm shutting you down completely. And I looked at him and I said, you know, as long as we get 11 points, I don't care who scores them. And he was like, yeah, I guess that's right. See, he realized the power was in my maturity to say, I don't have to score. I know I can score now. I can score with the best of them, but I don't have to score. We're winning this game. We're about to win the game, and who cares if I didn't score? He's still going to sit down. Once you mature, you realize the power of silence is way more important and powerful than trying to prove a point. Which brings me to this. We don't have to fight every single battle. That's where the power of silence comes in at. Think about this. In your life, whether it be family members, whether it be friends, whether it be co-workers, whatever it is, you don't have to fight all those battles. Some of them you can just let go. I say this all the time. I teach this to my clients. I preach it anytime I get the opportunity. We must learn to let go and let God. We don't have to fight every battle. We have to be able to look at something, discern, is this worth my time? Wasn't I talking about time like last week or the week before? Is it worth my time to engage in this quote unquote battle? We don't have to. In this age and day and age of social media, you can't fight every battle. I see people on social media. They go out and they want to fight every battle. Typing away. People write books on social media and nobody reads it. Nobody's reading it. You type 14 paragraphs and a comment on social media. Does anybody even care what you type in? I sit back and I just read sometimes. I'm like, do these people have anything else left to do? Just arguing back and forth on social media? I wonder about that because I have friends on social media that I totally disagree with on many things. We can go right into that political thing. I totally disagree with them. I look at their posts and I'm like, I let that one go. Silence. I could address it. I could address it wholeheartedly. I actually look at it, go in, do research, and say, wow, that's what they just posted wasn't true. But I don't say anything to them. Do you want to know why this is so important? Why I'm teaching this and sharing this with you right now? Because it keeps my peace. Because I know as soon as I say something to them or respond on social media, you know I'm going to get tons of people saying, no, it's this, it's that, responding and going at me and calling me names and all this. You know that's going to happen, right? Because see, it's easy to do that in today's society, especially behind a keyboard. You can call people names and just do all kind of things behind the keyboard, right? And then what would that do? That would, again, bring that anxiety onto me that I don't even want. I'm not even gonna allow that into my space. This is what I'm sharing with you, the power of silence. You don't have to fight every battle. I shared this in my Friday morning meditation. The battle's already won. Know that God's already fought the battle. Let go as I teach and let God. There's a quote that I use. It says, silence is wisdom's best reply. Sometimes you just got to be silent and learn, right? Wisdom is learning from your past mistakes so you can do better the next time. Silence sometimes is wisdom's best reply. When you know you've had the same type of disagreement with somebody before, don't go and argue with somebody about the same thing again. You already know what's going to happen. You could. There's a great, I love this. You cannot rationally speak to someone who's irrational. I'm going to say that one again. You cannot rationally speak with someone who's irrational. It's impossible. So if you're trying to be rational with someone who's clearly irrational, where's the conversation going to go? Nowhere. So you're wasting your time. You're wasting your time. Spend your time doing the things that you can do to raise the consciousness of humanity, all that you can. But don't spend your time arguing with people who aren't on the same conscious level as you, because we'll never get anywhere. Sometimes silence is your best answer. Sometimes silence is your most powerful answer. Sometimes silence is your loudest answer. Silence is so powerful. I was talking to someone on the Facebook group about even silence in the sense of music, because I'm a musician and I play the keyboard and the guitar. Sometimes the best parts of the song are when you break with a silence that gives the listener that chance to breathe and figure out what's happening and anticipate what's coming next. Silence is powerful. We need more silence in our world. I teach about connecting with silence. That's why I do the Friday morning meditation. It's about getting into that silence, getting into that connection and that alignment with the God within you, the Christ within you, the power that lives within you. Connecting with that silence is so important. I speak on that all the time, that great quote about between a stimulus and a response, there's a space. And in that space lies your freedom. There's going to be a stimulus and you're going to have a response. But when that stimulus happens and when you respond, there's a space there. There's silence there. How you choose to respond, or if you respond at all, is completely up to you. And sometimes, I'm not going to say all the time, because there may be times when you need to respond. I'm saying sometimes silence is your best response. It's so powerful. You think about this in your life. When can you decide in your life? Think about your relationships, your co-workers, your job, your career, your business, your finances, your children, whatever it is. When are there times where you can choose to not respond, to keep your own peace? You want to live a peaceful life? You want to live in joy? Recognize you can't tell everybody else what to do. You can't control what everyone else is going to do. But what you can control is how you react to what people do. Ooh, let me say that one again. You can't control what other people do. But what you can do is you can control how you react to what people do. And sometimes silence is your best response. The power of silence is key. Use this tangibly in your life. Look at the relationships in your life and the people that you speak with on a regular basis. And if there's tension there, why don't you use silence sometimes? And keep your peace and watch how it changes your life. Watch how the silence will not only change your feeling and what you're doing, it'll change the other person as well, because the vibration will be different between the two of you when you remain silent. You're going to get to that peace, get to that love, get to that meditative state within yourself, connect with that God within you, and find that silence is powerful. Use it tangibly in your life and watch how it changes your life. If you do this, you will be able to unequivocally say, I own the now, and I have won. This is T.Y. I'm about to sign off. Thank you for joining me for this episode of the Time Is Always Now podcast. As always, share the podcast with your family, with your friends. Tell people about it. Tell people to subscribe to it and continue to bring people in so they can hear these messages. That's why I do it, so I can help raise the consciousness of humanity by giving these messages out, by sharing these messages with the world. So I thank you for allowing me and helping me to continue to do what I do. This is T.Y. I'm signing off. Remember, the time is always now.